Alright, so I'm going to pull that corn planter into the shop today, and a few things happen first, but you're going to watch that, and you can stay tuned for the comments at the end of this, because they're just so much fun to do, and I just love doing them. So enjoy the helping a friend, doing something with a Mac, and then the corn planter. Okay, so it's me and Will again. Yesterday I got a panic phone call, kind of a panic phone call, from a friend of mine, a friend of mine's sister. My first friend, as a matter of fact. My first friend when I walked into kindergarten, Jamie Novak. Some of you that watch may know him, some may not, but he was definitely my first friend. Oh, God, just dry away. Anyways, his mother is now reached elderly age. She's in her 80s now. I believe she's in her 80s. I want to say she's definitely in her 80s now, maybe 82. And he was the youngest. Jamie was the youngest of the 4 children. There were 2 girls and 2 boys. And I know Richard is probably 7, 8 years older than me, and then Jamie is a year older than I am. So, or close to a year older than I am. Maybe he's just a few months. I think his birthday's in May, and he'll be 48 in May. Maybe he's only just a few months older. Anyway, neither here nor there. They're moving her out of the, she's moved out of the house and in with her daughter, Jamie's sister, and they needed a bigger house, so she sold her house up here in Holland Township and moved up to Bloomsbury, which is not far from here. And there's a trailer that needs to be moved from the old farmhouse. I farm the ground, and where her mother used to live, or Jamie's mother used to live, his mother, and it needs to be moved to Bloomsbury so they can move some material and some furniture and stuff into it before they do work on the house. And they got some help today. So anyway, so I got this. I'm going to disconnect the Mack truck, and I'm going to take off and move that trailer. It's a box trailer up to their new place in Bloomsbury so they can move furniture and get the house repairs done that need to be done. Me and William are going to do that, unless my mom takes William, which I'm pretty sure she wouldn't mind seeing Mr. Will. So I'll see you. Okay, so this is for those of you that oh, let me go back here. The trailer I picked up was a really hairy situation. I couldn't film it, so I'm sorry. I actually had to block a road to pick it up, and I had to block another road to drop it off, and then both of them were on corners, so I just said, to hell with the camera. And I had William with me, so I couldn't really do that. But just for everybody to know, it will not burn more fuel because I shut off the puff eliminator. What it does is it gives it all the fuel right away. So I get all the fuel right away, all the power, 100% of the power right when you hit the pedal. You accelerate faster. The faster you accelerate, the sooner you get to let off the pedal. With the puff eliminator, it only gives you a certain amount, a certain percentage of the power, like 60% of the power that the truck can produce, eliminating the black puff of smoke. So you have to be on the pedal for much longer to get up to speed. So it isn't burning any less fuel or any more fuel by having it on or taking it off. You might want to pull that pin back up a bit. He's going to try. Careful, you'll break stuff. Back up a little more. Work it a bit. Okay, pull ahead. Careful though. Okay, so we got a good greasy fifth wheel. Alright, so that isn't going to cause it to burn anything. Okay? It's not even smoking. A lot of that smoke that you saw the other day was unburnt fuel, because when you starve an engine for fuel, it actually doesn't burn as clean as it does when you actually put. Okay, I'm going to do a quick go over on this corn planter. Timothy is going to get me spark plugs and idler pulleys for my silver truck because it needs to be done. Now, this corn planter, if you don't know, I bought it in, I think it was April. It was right around April. It was Timothy's birthday time. And it's set up with these liquid pop-up fertilizer tanks, which is not a bad idea. I mean, it would work wonderfully if it was, well, it would work wonderfully. I think it'll work just fine. This has flow meters for each and every one of these things. These are John Blue flow meters. And here's a pump here. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I'm not sure whether I'm going to use it, just for the simple reason I don't want to put anything right on the seed, because they want it to come down here and go right on the Keaton seed firmer, which puts it right on the seed. So I would have to have special fertilizer for that, Nature's or some shit like that. So this is this hammered dog shit welding that was done by somebody in Kentucky, because that's where this corn planter came from. It was originally a 12-row rigid corn planter. That was probably when they bought it. They had this hinge system set on. This is now a front fold hinge system corn planter. It's not in terrible shape. It has some problems, but it's not in terrible shape. Now, the one thing that annoyed the crap out of me, and I do have some parts here, bushings and bolts and stuff, and there are a few things that are missing that need to be addressed. Like this here is a Martin row unit. I think it's a Martin row unit. I'm pretty sure it's a Martin row unit. I don't know. I thought I saw Martin written on it. Could be that it was just Martin row cleaners, but that might even be a Kinsey, but I'm not sure. I'm going to take that off of there because it has a bolt on, and I'm not sure who makes this. So I'm not sure who makes it, so I just can't. I don't know who makes it, so I don't know where to get the parts for it. It's missing one of the stoppers here, which is causing it to go cockeyed, like when it's causing it to go cockeyed. So I'm going to take it all off of there, and I'm going to put a new row unit on. For the most part, the row units are in pretty decent condition. Whoever had owned it before, they did stupid stuff like this. Okay, you can't do stupid stuff like this. These things have bolts that are specific for each operation. Okay, so this is where your box goes in. There's a little bushing here. This bolt is not correct. It is too long. That will hit the box. It'll hit the box here or here and punch a hole in it if you're not careful. I've done this before. They should look like this. This one's about 1/4 of an inch too long. So I'll be going over all of these things and getting them correct. Putting new bushings all the way around. It has to run true. If it doesn't run true, it's not going to plant straight. It's not going to plant well. You're not going to have good seed to soil contact. This unit here is going to be getting a brand new, this bar here is going to be brand new, or I'm going to flip it. I'll probably flip it because that's just the way I am. I can save some money. I do have some of these someplace. This bar here, or this piece right here, is all hogged out on the back side from loose bolts because those bolts need to be tight. If they are not tight, the bolt gets cocked. Well, you can watch this. See it flex like that? When it's flexing like that, that bolt is just chewing away metal, and this piece of angle iron is no longer any good. So that has to be replaced. Whoever did own it before, they did put new springs, down pressure springs, so all my down pressure springs are in good shape. I believe all of them. This one even looks pretty good. This one here is brand new. These are John Deere. This is actually a Shoop model. I've had problems with the Shoop ones. What happens with those is they bottom out and they break. So I think that's a Shoop. That might be even a different brand. It should be pretty square. You can see that it's got this weird ass system there. And those are the no-till down pressure springs. So they all have to be the same length. So I'm going to be changing out that one. It looks like it's long. And there's a bunch of those. The transmission here looks like it was taken care of okay. The rollers are all good. I'm going to be replacing all these chains. I will be replacing the plastic rollers here on all of these. They're pretty well gone, so they're junk. We'll get rid of those. So plastic rollers, chains, several of them have things like this. See those wire ties there? Wire ties to hold the spring so that it puts a proper tension on there. And if you're new to farming, I mean, it's a good get by kind of a thing. Like, oh, we'll just throw some, what do you call them on there? Some wire ties on there, it should be okay. That isn't gonna last forever. So it's a good get you through the season deal, but what happens if these are loose is it'll either skip off here and break something, or they'll skip if the chain isn't nice and free. It'll skip, and you will have skips and doubles in your row. And yeah, what else is in here? I mean, I've been looking at it a little bit. I really haven't gotten too into this thing yet. This is all right. I can turn this. This shaft is okay. This piece here, I think, is from a newer, these pieces are from a newer corn planter, I think like a 7200 conservation till, 7200, and that's for the John Deere front fold, because I don't know what company made this, okay? So when I figure out what company made it, maybe they are still in business. I doubt it. I think it's just a Deere thing. So it's probably, How Farms Work had a front fold 12-row corn planter, and they had all kinds of problems with the shafts. And they sold it and got the one that they have now, and they're perfectly happy with it, according to Travis. I don't know that Ryan really had much to say about it, but I know Travis said that it was okay. Now, the nice thing is, if you do snap one of these things off, Shoop sells couplers. So what you do, instead of having to pull the whole damn rod from here to there, you just take and you cut it where it's twisted off, you know, the back of the twist, and then you take these off of here, pop it out, take your coupler, move it to a spot where it's easy to locate, and you can recouple those together. I've done that with the old 4-row corn planter, not the one that I currently have, but the original one. When I was a kid, my grandparents bought it, and I broke that several times. Now, problem child with this corn planter, and I think it's a problem child with every 12-row corn planter of this genre or generation, is the drive shaft, okay? This has 2 drive shafts, and it is double driven from this guy here and this guy here. I see missing parts. This is the first I've seen these missing parts, but it's no big deal. Right there is the drive hub. There's supposed to be a sprocket on that thing, which drives the chain to that axle, to that drive shaft. Same here. That one is missing as well. This one has it, okay? And this one here used to have a chain on it, but that chain is missing. But it wouldn't matter anyway because of that shaft that snapped off there. Someone didn't put the roll pin in where it was supposed to be. That roll pin actually holds the bearing. So, let's see, I'm saying a lot. What I'm going to do is pull that chain off of there, and I'm going to remove that shaft, bearings and all, put new bearings, new shaft in both sides. I'm going to purchase that little piece there. I'm also going to purchase, where is this drive? There should be a couple of holes here, which there is, a couple holes. And what these holes do is they hold, they mount, that's where you mount. Oh, that's busted off of there. Where the hell is that? There's one there. There should be one here someplace. Here and here. Yeah, here and here. You can see where I'm pushing the grease and dirt out right there. So you'll buy a mounting bracket that holds the rollers. These rollers here, it's right here. And you can get all that stuff from Deere, or I can come up with it. I may even have that, because when I took the original corn planter apart, I robbed a lot off of it and I stored it. There's a bunch of bits and pieces and bobs up there on the mezzanine, or loftanine, or whatever you want to call that nine. And we'll be getting into that. Probably gonna just start pulling these depth gauge wheels. They have a mismatch of different depth gauge wheels. These are Deere. This one here is from a newer style corn planter. So you see the difference of this tire? It's got a bump to it. This one here actually is in reverse. So this row unit is not going to run at the same depth as this row unit. So I have to address that. That has to be addressed. And I have more tires. I think I got brand new tires up there. That may even be off of a grain drill, because I know that some of the grain drills had those as well, like the 16 or the 1560. I'm not sure about the 1590, but the 1560, probably 1590 as well. But I can get these things. Got to make sure the scrapers are all on. I see, yeah, there's scrapers here. These actually seem to be, the arms seem to be in pretty good shape. All the castings seem to be in okay shape. This one's bad. I'm gonna have to buy some new ones of these. I do have some spares. This one has these wear adjusters. These are designed to account for wear. You loosen that bolt up, and then you put a wrench on there and you turn it to make it true with the slot that it opens. So that should be pretty easy to repair. Who the hell is that? That's my brother-in-law. Somebody backed into this, and over here, I'm gonna get off of here. They lobbed this off because when it folds front, it would hit the tank. And again, here's some more of this cobbled up nut mess, and I'll have to replace those. And here they are, my YouTube star family, my sister, my brother-in-law, and their son, Grant. Crash Man. He's Crash Man. He's down. What do you got? How many vehicles now? 2? You didn't hit your mom's car yet, have you? No. Okay.
Thanks for jinxing it.
That's right. Take it up for a ride. There's telephone poles and mailboxes everywhere. Okay, so I'm up in the Loftonine here, and here are some of the parts that I have saved, including some precision meters. These are the precision meters. These are actually in pretty good shape, but what I like about the precision meters is you look at these. They got the cupped belts, but I got to replace all of those, so that will have to go. I have new tires here for these. I even have some used ones, but I've got those because they're the same as the grain drill. There are a whole host of parts and pieces here, and I should have enough to make that thing about 95% where it should be by the time I'm done. Yeah. What else do I have? Yeah, I got quite a few of these parts in here. I hardly remember. Here comes somebody looking for a wrench. 15/16. See?
Clearly, you didn't want to lose your hitch pin.
That
car pin's huge.
Yes. Well, yeah, you could either grab 2 adjustable wrenches. That'll save you, or 2 15/16. That's what they are. I think they're 15/16. Yeah. I think they're 15/16. This comment is from me. My eyes are bloodshot. Do you know why my eyes are bloodshot? Because I've been up since 3:30 this morning. But anyways, I got the soil analysis back from this farm, the home farm, and where my mother was raised, where I'm going to be growing. I'm going to be growing corn on both places. And the difference between where a real farmer farmed and a sod farmer farmed is very evident in the soil test. It's quite interesting to see. The soil, my grandparents, where my mother was raised, that soil is much better soil than the home farm here. It's got a better CEC level, and it's better CEC, and it's just better ground. Always was. It's deeper, drains well. You can grow alfalfa like there's no tomorrow. But it's really good soil. But the levels of fertilizer that it will take to grow on that ground will be actually less, even though the soil tests come back worse because of the CEC. At home here in Kingwood, the CEC level is higher, not much higher, maybe a 0.2%, a point higher or two, and that does change it, so it'll take more fertilizer and possibly split applications, which I already knew because we've farmed this ground before. But anyways, I will show that coming up like tomorrow or the next day, depends if I get my work done. So enjoy some of the comments that I'm about to say here. Okay, this is a blanket comment response. The gold key that was in the video, that was a gift from someone. They sent me their gold key that they had gotten from Waterloo. So no, I didn't buy a brand new tractor. Craig Williams, he says, I've drilled many wells in Pine Island. Well, if you're in that black soil region, I imagine you only had to go down about 3 feet. But up on the hills, probably a good bit deeper. Massey man, I know you want to hear the other side of Carl's story. You can call him and ask him. I doubt that he'll tell you. Well, maybe he will. But you've gotten my side of it and not even the complete side, because there's a lot more things that I don't think Carl wants out there to that story, and we'll just leave it at that. So that's that. Wyatt Warner, Joe is not old enough to drive truck. You have to be 21 years of age to drive a semi on the interstate. And yes, he would make a lot more money driving truck, but again, not old enough. Mind blown watcher. Used to drive up to the Jolly Onion restaurant for Sunday dinner with my family. Nice area. I drove right past the Jolly Onion restaurant. It was really kind of cool. Now that I see your comment, I think it's even cooler. Ron Trent, I will be in Montgomery. Actually, in Montgomery, it's north of Goshen off of 416 at the end of the Orange County Airport, at where 416 intersects, I think 5 something or other, just under Route 84 there. So if you're going to keep an eye out for me, that's where I'll be. Sky King says, I just like to say Switchblade turbos. Well, I've looked into Switchblade turbos. I have to make a phone call. Don't see that they're putting them on Mack trucks just yet, so I'll check those out. I'm going to give them a call and see where we're at with that. Let's see. Glenn S. Vidalia, Georgia is the onion capital of the world. For Vidalia onions. That's the only place that they grow Vidalias. Everywhere else that they grow that variety, they just call them sweet onions. And I think I'm getting the gist that any area that grows onions calls themselves the onion capital of the world. Okay, so Massey man, he's starting to piss me off. He's got one more chance, and then, just stop being a dickhead. I will delete you from my channel. That's all I have to say about that. What? Connor Smith says I drove right past his house. He said, those were tomatoes in that field. I'm pretty sure that they were something. I don't know. I didn't recognize them. What it looked to me like they cut off the tops of whatever it was, but I thought I saw tomatoes in that field that I was looking at. I could see the skins that were left from them, but there was no vine left. It was kind of weird. Well, David Watts has reached dickhead status as well. Yeah, that's amazing. And David Watts knows nothing about what happened here and as to why Carl's gone. Carl left. I mean, he quit on me just like that. And that's fine. I'm happy that he's gone. I mean, I wish I had somebody to drive for me because I have a lot of work to do. But I'm happy Carl's gone. But David Watts, bye-bye. Okay, so this is the last one I'm going to read. Panhead 49EL. Are the restaurant shutdowns affecting your mushroom barns yet? No, actually, not yet. Not at all. Dr. Oz, you know that guy Dr. Oz that used to be on the Oprah Winfrey show? He came out, and a lot of people respect that guy, but he came out with that mushrooms actually help fight the coronavirus. It is a true, honest fact that the antioxidant, anti-inflammatory powers of mushrooms, people are eating more mushrooms than ever before, and they are learning about all the good stuff that they do. So, no, the mushroom growing is just trucking right along.